Hello beautiful souls, Antoinette here from Antoinette Intuitive Tarot and Jewellery. I'm just going to do a quick flip through from the Tarot Del Toro, which is a slightly macabre looking tarot deck, but it's one that's coming up soon in a film, I'm told. So the deck has been messed up. I have been using it. I do apologise, but that's okay because the cards are quite explanatory and they'll tell you what's in there. Just before I start, I will admit the fact that I have my dog walking around. So if you think it's a mouse, it's not. It's my dog. I think I have to explain her in most videos now because she keeps popping in. So the box is a very sturdy box. There's a bit on the back for you. There's Marjorie. So it's a slightly 3D box. It is a lovely sturdy box. Let's open it up. So inside it's decorated with very similar imagery. We have a book. So obviously it's Titan Publishing's here. I cannot pronounce those names. So Guillermo, I think it is, Del Toro. But I'll let you decide ultimately. So it's not a huge book at all. It tells us about tarot, introduction to tarot, major arcanas as you'd expect. So we have a coloured image and writing about each image. So these are the majors. So it's basically a page and a bit for each one. Going through. Judgment. Court cards. Oops. Knight of Blades. And then numerical cards. So court cards have their own pages. Then we have numerical cards. So because it's a pip, what we call a pip deck, the numbers pretty much speak for themselves really, as opposed to kind of Rider-Waite systems where every card, say aces, one per suit, has its own meaning for each, ace has its own meaning. Whereas with pips in general, it's kind of, there's one. So this meaning will go for all four aces, and so on and so forth till you get to the tens. Then your court cards have their own write-ups and your majors have their own write-ups. So that is it. So final word. So yeah, it's not a huge book. It's nice and short, easy to follow. 57 pages long. There we go. And here's the box itself. There's the rather lovely looking King of Wands. And there's the inside. So the deck is a nice size. It's nice to hold. I have small hands. I can hold it. So let's do a quick card measure for those that this. It's so dark in here, I can't see. Let's bring it up close to the camera, see if you can see it. So it's roughly 7 centimeters by 13 by 3 centimeters full deck width. Okay, and they're matte. They do shuffle well. As I say, they've already been shuffled and worked with, so they're out of sync. So the back's very nice. And then we have the, just to bring you in a bit better. Sorry about the shadow. So I'm not very good at separating these cards, so I'm not sure how this is going to work for you. Let's try this. So Ace of Goblets, Temperance. So it's almost like lino cut. I haven't read up about these. Where you're probably all shouting at the screen, yes, it is lino cut. So there's your 10 of Swords, or blades, or daggers, whatever you want to call them. There's your King. Obviously, these are your wands. So this is what I mean by pips, for those of you who aren't familiar with pip cards. 7 eights, that's your 8 of Wands. Emperor. Judgment. I do like this card. When I first looked at it, I just saw this as like a wreath of roses. I kind of looked at it more as a transition sort of card. But it's certainly powerful. Packs a punch, that one. Strength. He's a bit of a brute. The Lovers. The Moon. So this one has a story behind it. I'll have to look it up. There is something about the frog waiting underneath for rebirth. Again, if you know already, write it in the comments and let me know. It's good to share. There's your discs, cogs, pentacles, Chariot. This one reminds me of one from the Deviant Moon, actually. King of Wands. These rather white eyes. The Fool. Looks like he needs some food. Reminds me of Pan. From kind of old ways, Celtic beliefs, paganism. Valet of Blades. I'm more worried about her clogs actually on her feet, to be fair. I don't want to kick from those. There's your Knight of Discs. There's your Two of Swords. Or Blades. King of Discs. Wheel of Fortune. Is that 8? Oh, I've got my glasses on. The Hanged Man. Now this one, some people find it a little bit difficult to look at that card. There is a story behind this deck. I think it's something to do with Pan's Labyrinth. I haven't watched that film, certainly not in the last 10 years, so I can't relate to all these images and where they come from. Otherwise I'd probably have to talk about that as well. But yeah, so I have seen some people either want to cover up the image, and I've heard people say that you can Mod Podge, but obviously the card's going to feel different if you do that, by sticking another image over it, or you can potentially maybe match the card stock and take it out, or I suppose you could just colour it in, colour straight over it with a Sharpie and leave the written detail of the card at the bottom. Of course, not all of these decks are everyone's taste. Tower. If you look at this one, it looks almost like someone's head, isn't it? So there's the collar, there's the body, the hand. It's almost like there's the face in there in the house. Mouth, nose, eyes, third eye. And I'd say that's possibly, you know, your crown chakra. My personal interpretation. Ace of Wands, Magician, Knight of Goblets, the World, Six of Pentacles, there's your Valet of Goblets, gruesome chap. Nine of Cups, hello Max. 7. The only thing I've said, and somebody else has agreed with me, is, you know, these have got beautiful illustrations. I feel like some of these could maybe have been these. Like they could have incorporated more of this, more elaborate illustration for them into some of the cards. And the same with this. So you've seen the Two of Swords, which was, you know, lovely big swords, and then here we are, we've moved back to kind of kitchen knives. And that's just the sort of thing that I'm kind of referring to when I say that. Cogs, because we have a mixture always of big and small. There we go. So here we have a mixture, perfect example, but in some of the other ones I feel like there could have been more of these. That's Max. He's just got himself stuck under my table. Hermit. There's your 5. There's your 4. Good mix of the 2. 10 of Cups. Hierophant. Ace of Blades. 3. And King of Goblets. I don't think I'll drink out of his cup. Queen of Discs. It's your Valet of Discs. Obviously Valet means knight, as you can see quite clearly this is a knight. Or is that obvious? Maybe I should check. that'll be something for you to write in comments for me. Correct me. Let me know, what does Valet stand for on this deck? For those who are... Ooh, look at that. Heads on platters. Justice. There, see, 3 of goblets, cups, chalices. 3 nice examples. That's the star. Cogs. Is that 7? It focuses. There's our 2. 6. Knight of Blades. I take it back then. That tells me Valet is what we would call page. Not so obvious when they've got suits of armour on them. The Empress. The Sun. That's interesting. Looks, it's got like almost like the Lovers in there, isn't it? There's a 7, 2, and 8. There you go. Do you have this deck? Let me know. What do you think of it? Are you planning on buying it? Are you tempted? Is the imagery for you? Or is it a bit too dark? These are probably what I will end up in my collector's decks anyway. They won't become my everyday decks. But yeah, have a great day. If you have enjoyed this, then don't forget to like and subscribe so you get to see more of my stuff when it uploads. And I hope to be doing some books and a bit more journaling at some point soon, but probably for a while it'll be decks just to keep me on the straight and narrow. Take care, and I will see you again. Bye bye.